apologetic atheist interracial couple's progressive response to the fucking internet.
Welcome back, everybody, and happy October.
Yeah.
It's October and it's spooky season. It's spooky season. I love a spooky season. That was my song.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Can I tell you, the mood around here has lifted like 150%. Can I tell you?
Oh, yeah.
There is something about in Florida, that one morning where you wake up where everything's changed.
It takes one morning, by the way, with us. Like, it's the day before was hot as fucking all get out. And you walk outside and you're like, what the fuck's happening? Am I still inside?
Like,
what's happening?
Legit, everything changes. And all of a sudden, you just feel the crispness of the air.
Yeah.
And you remember why you haven't left this godforsaken fucking state.
It's a reminder once a year that we're like, oh yeah, we only live here for like 2 weeks out of the year.
And I tell you, everything gets better. People get nicer.
Seriously.
Like, traffic goes, I don't know, it just gets better. Like, everything, every metric is like better once the weather is like a slight crisp.
Once it's not like 99 degrees with 100% humidity. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's a beautiful time to be alive here in the state of Florida. In that one respect, though.
That's it. That's it. We're out.
We're not going to go farther than that right
Nope.
now. Mm-mm. We're just going to say in that one respect, we feel the way that, like, I don't know, Vermont feels all the time, basically,
Right.
when it's not winter.
Damn it. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we even still?
Well, you know, we were born and raised here, and our entire families are here, so
That's it. That's all.
that's one reason. So yeah. Anywhoozles, it is October and of the year 2020, which feels radical. Like,
Yep.
this feels like, how the hell did this happen?
Right. It's a whole new world this year, it seems. It's weird.
It truly is.
How
And
drastic everything is, like, the changes.
it's like the news season is just like, it's like I have to take life by every like 3 to 4 hours now.
Yeah, it is.
You wake up in the morning and there's like one news cycle, and you go to bed to a whole different news cycle. It is wild.
I get a whole different one because, like, I stay up late, and it's like, you know, I get a whole second news cycle before I go to bed. I've had one for during the day, and then once I get home, it's a whole second cycle starting, and it's amazing.
It reminds me so much of, like, back in the day. I don't know if they still do this, but I know back in the day, they used to have, like, papers in the morning and papers in the afternoon. They have two different runs of papers.
That makes sense.
And of the newspaper, and I'm like, it's like we're living in that time. It's like
Yeah.
I'm going out and buying the morning newspaper and the afternoon newspaper. But, like, I would imagine the difference between the morning and afternoon newspaper couldn't have been that dramatic. You know what we should do? We need to go find an example of a morning and night newspaper at a random day in, like, 1892 and see what the difference is. We need to write that down. That's what we're going to do.
A good call. Like, I think a lot of it is like, here's the things that actually happened in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, it's like, did you hear what this person said about the things that happened this morning? Holy shit!
I hope it's not that, because that is not enough. That is a waste of ink. I don't give a fuck what some random person said about some random thing. What is happening?
Milo Yiannopoulos or whatever, like.
You
had a hot take.
You dare speak that name.
Had a hot take.
You dare speak that name. But so it's also Halloween time, spooky season, as we said before, which is one of my favorite times ever. Oh my goodness! Like, I'm not big into harvest holidays at all. I got to be honest. Like, the whole, like, pumpkin, you know, scarecrow, hay thing about harvest time is not my jam.
Damn, I love that.
I
love the colors.
It. I can't stand it. I don't know what it is. It's like, you know what? Let me take that back. It's not that I can't stand it. It's just that it's so easy to go overboard with that shit. Like, you don't live in a pumpkin patch. Stop it. That's too much hay for a residential street. Don't do that. Like, we don't need that many pumpkins. Like, you don't need a pumpkin every, like, Like they have like the baby pumpkins, and then the pumpkin like 2 sizes bigger than that, and then 2 sizes. It's like a Russian nesting doll of pumpkins, and I don't understand that whole thing. But some people are super into it. I'm just super into Halloween. Yeah, I'm just super into like
that's the thing.
The Halloween decorations.
It's like, funny. It was funny too because like we have this a yard that I have to somehow maintain nowadays.
Excuse me, we.
You don't maintain the yard. Okay. Anyway.
Who was the person that found the guy that cut our yard the last time?
Okay, that's come on. Anyway, so
I got it done.
You did get it done. So I had a hell of a day trying to get the lawnmower fixed. Anyway,
like because apparently lawnmowers have specific blade types.
Yeah,
for your first time homeowners. Who's never had to take care of a grass and like a yard ever in your life, and now you just got like signed up for 30 years worth of projects. Here's a first pro tip. Get probably an electric mower, and also maybe like think about getting a mower with like super ubiquitous blades, because apparently you can have like types of blades.
And the other thing is, remember, you can call places to ask if they have the certain types of blades. That'd be helpful as well, just to throw out there. It's a dumb thing that I didn't fucking think of before going all over the goddamn county.
Brent had an adventure trying to replace a Honda blade on a lawnmower. He had a whole Pinellas County
I'd be walking. I didn't even get up to the people, and they're like, "Ooh," and I was holding it in my hand. They're like, "Ooh, Honda blades." And I'm like, how did you already? Yeah, we don't Honda blades. Nah, I'm sorry, man.
That's no.
You came all the fucking way out here for nothing. We can order some. It'll be here in like 3 to 4 weeks.
Now, y'all know he didn't consult me on any of this. This was I'm going to get it done.
Yeah, I was really trying to be
So I just was like, he's going to get done. So I'm going to let him do whatever he feels necessary. But
we did. It was so overgrown by the time I finally got the blade fixed. Or, and then the lawnmower or something else. I think I flipped it over wrong or something, and the oil all leaked out. So then I had a second problem, and we ended up, Nikki got this guy to cut our yard. But the grass was so long by that time that it was almost like perfectly timed, because like give it a couple days after you cut grass when it's that fucking long, and it looks like we're at a fucking fall festival, like with a hayride ready to pull in, because just hay is everywhere and the yard all turns blonde, and like it was just perfectly timed.
Yes, it was. And now we're trying to figure out if we should decorate for Halloween. We probably should. At least a little bit of something on the front porch to be like, we're normal people who like Halloween, not those like weird people that are going to put a sign in our yards being like, Halloween is for the devil, don't even come on the front porch. Can I tell you, I grew up in a neighborhood with a house like that on our cul-de-sac, and it was the wildest thing in the world. And they were black people too. My mom was like, why would they do this?
The Halloween decorations were why Halloweens shouldn't have decorations? Or like why you shouldn't celebrate Halloween?
Wait, I'm confused.
What were the decorations?
There were no Halloween decorations. They had a sign in their front, like a literal sign saying, we do not celebrate Halloween because it is, the devil's holiday.
Yeah, so exactly what I said. Their Halloween decorations were why Halloween decorations are
It was a joke. Oh, I'm on it now. That's funny. Damn. That went directly over my head. Thanks, babe. Yeah, they decorated their house for Halloween to say that they don't decorate for Halloween. Good job. It was excellent.
That's awesome.
Ooh, any hoozles. Can I just like gripe for just a second?
Sure.
For just a moment. It's Halloween. Very important time for entertainment. This is when you need to rewatch all your Halloween favorites.
That's right.
And as a Simpsons fan, one of the things I was so looking forward to on Disney Plus was Treehouse of Horror. Now, mind you, when The Simpsons first got on Disney Plus months ago, I was already looking for the collection of Treehouse of Horror episodes, but I didn't see it. And I was like, okay, so I guess they're going to wait till Halloween and really just like wow us with the Treehouse of Horror collection. Why? It's now Halloween times. I get to Disney Plus. I go to the Halloween collection. They have a whole row. Treehouse of Horror. Yay! Okay. We got us a Treehouse of Horror collection.
They figured it out. They thought
they were on this. It started. So I start with the first episode. and which is season 2. It was way back in the day.
Damn.
And in season 2, episode 6, I watched the episode, had me a great time. Kiki and Simpsons are so funny. And why Disney Plus then asks me, do I want to watch, like, countdown to season 2, episode 7?
Wait. Oh, that's what it led to?
They did not. This is how lazy.
Oh, my God.
They were. They were like, here's each individual tile episode of Treehouse of Horror for Simpsons. But what we're not going to do is take this out of the regular countdown. So if you watch season 2 Treehouse of Horror, you're just gonna get the next episode from that season.
Come on.
Instead of the next Treehouse of Horror episode. And I was just like, I cannot believe I waited this long for this to still be let down. What is Disney Plus doing?
They were just like, oh yeah, and by the way, this show has the Treehouse of Horror things. Anyway, but you just figured out. Like, what the fuck? That's weird, man. Like,
it is so weird.
Why wouldn't you put it in a dedicated playlist?
I don't know. And I'm not on the internet, so I hope somebody has already raised this alarm on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere to be like, Disney Plus, get yourself together. This is why Netflix will remain a staple, because Netflix would never do some shit like this. HBO would never do some shit like this. Like, Prime Video would not do some shit like this. Like, what is this? Like, Disney Plus... It just, some things just don't add up.
No, yeah.
And I need them to add up.
Right.
Okay? You can hire me. I am a TV extraordinaire. I can tell you exactly how people are going to consume their television.
Right.
Okay?
Think
this was a rookie mistake.
Friendliness. User friendliness is what's important here. And usually Disney is like on top of like the experience of the user or the experience of the...
And also, don't you want my eyes to be glued to your app as long as possible? Why would you make me go back twice? I gotta hit back twice to get back to the tiles and choose another episode after each episode. And you're giving me only like 7 seconds to do that because you're automatically counting down to the following episode.
Right.
It's like,
wow. Jesus Christ.
It was like, purposely created to be frustrating.
The rest of the season's great. Just wait. Okay, like, you're gonna love it.
I'm going for a mood here, Disney Plus. This is a mood situation. You can't just be in Halloween and then arrive at Thanksgiving. That's not how it works. I'm trying to create a whole mood prior to Halloween. Okay.
That was always my. It's funny too, because like with The Simpsons, that's always the Halloween. Episode. For me, my Thanksgiving tradition was always Friends, because they always were on Thursday nights. So I always watched all the Friends. I watched all 10 episodes of
that's how
Thanksgiving episode. Yeah, I know. Apparently, Friends is not popular. I don't get it.
No, man, Friends is incredibly popular.
Oh, really? Because I'm always being ridiculed for my Friends references.
I know, but the sad thing is they still know what the fucking reference is.
And that's a good
the problem.
So fuck y'all, okay? You wouldn't even know what I was. The fact that you know what I'm referencing in the first place.
It's like we didn't get consent, but somehow Friends has become ubiquitous in our culture, and that's really what the anger comes from when it comes with Friends. It's like, it's not, I don't really think it's the people or the show specifically. I think it's the fact that we all had to pay attention to this, and this is like all now a part of our culture, and we all have to just go along with it. And it's like, God damn it.
Yeah. Like,
couldn't we have chosen something better? What was like Golden Girls would have been much better.
Right. Yeah.
As like a cultural touchstone to keep moving forward on.
Right. It was almost like that one show where the guy was just making a reference. I can't remember what show it was, but he was just making a reference that was like about Friends. And then she said, "Oh, I was always more of a," and then said other characters. She was a black woman. She was like, "I said, I was always more of a this type of."
Oh, you're talking about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah, that's what it was.
And she makes the joke about living single?
Yeah.
I was always
like,
more
who?
of a...
She's like, oh, but I'm supposed to know every fucking white character from every white sitcom? Come on.
I think it was a Frasier joke. And then she said something. I think she said something like, "Oh, that's so Maxine and Kyle or whatever."
That's what it was. Maxine and Kyle.
Yeah. It is fascinating to me because, like, listen, seriously, they stole Living Single. That's all the Friends is. It's Living Single. Like, they stole the idea from Living Single. Period.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to go back and I have seen some episodes and I always enjoyed it, but I gotta go
Living
back from
Single
the beginning.
is one of the best. Yes, let's rewatch. We need a whole list of things, right? We need Living Single. We need Girlfriends. You are going to love Girlfriends.
I do love Girlfriends.
Yes,
yeah,
we need
I
to
know
rewatch
that
all of Girlfriends, which is now on Netflix. I feel like you should watch The Game because you would like that messy shit. I'm not into The Game like that. I can't. It's too much. It's just I like the whole football wife culture to me is just garbage. So I can't even watch a comedy about it. Like I get in my feelings just watching a comedy about it. So it's too heated. Like I tried to watch what's that one with The Rock? Ballers. I watched like one season of Ballers and I was like, I feel like I just depleted something from my life. So I'm just gonna stop moving
That was
forward.
Like me with Entourage. I was just like,
oh my gosh, yes.
I was
like, why did we watch Entourage?
Not my thing.
Why was that a thing? Like, and it was so the beginning of this trash, like, celebrity culture that we're all enduring right now. And we should have, and that was the reason why we should have all been like, no. And yet, here we are. Oh, you reap what you sow.
That's right.
Anyway, headlines.
Let's do some headlines.
Unapologetics. Headlines.
So, speaking of spooky season, our president is sick with COVID in the hospital currently.
Wow. Yeah. That was some news that I wasn't expecting.
No.
To be completely honest.
No,
even though I should, I feel like I should have expected that, but it's like, I feel like it's like a bed of nails at this point with all the news that's coming in. Like, there's who the fuck knows what to expect, and we're expecting the unexpected so much that we're not expecting the expected.
Yes, exactly. Like, it does feel like we're just like a bed of nails at this point. It's like, we're good. Just keep,
it's
we're good.
As long as
just
it's
keep on
all
going.
terrible things all the time. It says now I'm not even phased.
Whatever.
I can lay right down on this bed of nails. No problem.
I don't know where Bed of Nails came from, but you saved it. Thank you. I don't know where I was going with that. Somewhere, surely, but I lost it. Anywho, so first of all, I just want to talk about this, like the positive COVID thing for the president, because it's not just the president, right? Like, it's now affecting almost the entire goddamn White House. Okay, so first of all, a lot of these positive COVID results are coming from one event, which was when they announced Amy Coney Barrett as the new Supreme Court nominee. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into that in more detail later. Right. But I just want to talk about this event that they had, closed door event at the White House after they announced her nomination in the White House. Okay, so let's listen to this. As this is from the Washington Post. As White House officials worked to trace the origin of the outbreak, they became concerned about a series of events Saturday. Barrett's Rose Garden announcement and the private indoor reception surrounding it. A feeling of invincibility from the virus was pervasive. Guests were administered rapid coronavirus tests upon arrival and waited in a room wearing masks, according to Jenkins. I'm already suspect of that. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Why would you all then herd into a room together? But okay. The Notre Dame president. Then he wrote, the Notre Dame president, according to Jenkins, the Notre Dame president, he was an attendee at the event, reading out loud.
Right.
Gotcha. Then he wrote in a statement Friday, we were notified that we had all tested negative and were told that it was safe to remove our masks. Attendees were so confident that the contagion would not invade their seemingly safe space at the White House that, according to Jenkins, after guests tested negative that day, they were instructed they no longer needed to cover their faces. The no mask mantra applied indoors as well. cabinet members, senators, Barrett family members, and others mixed unencumbered at tightly packed indoor receptions in the White House's diplomatic room and cabinet room. So, as a result, here's the most recent list of positives.
No.
I'm sorry.
A list?
Okay. President Trump and Melania Trump. Bill Stepien, who is Trump's new campaign manager. Chris Christie. Hope Hicks. Kellyanne Conway. Senator Mike Lee. Senator Tom Tillis. Ronna McDaniel. Notre Dame President Jenkins. 3 White House reporters and 11 staffers from the Cleveland debate. So this is all that stemmed from like all of that. And the debate also. Like that is, imagine like just exponentially take that out. Like just think about that for a second. All these people, and these are like super spreaders, right? Because these are people that are mobile. They're on they're in our airports. They're on our fucking planes. They are going to tons of open areas, public spaces. Like this is insanity.
Yeah. It's just the worst people that could possibly catch this thing to be, like you said, a super spreader. I mean, it's, which is like Super Shredder, from Ninja Turtles, but like spreading disease.
And can I say also, Brent? Yes, baby.
The level of Shredder that became more Shredder.
I was like, heard you. Yes.
Sorry, I just can't hear that without thinking of Super Shredder. Anyway, my favorite toy for a long time. Anyway,
completely fair. Yes, but what's also wild about it is just like the complete disregard for human life in that goddamn building, because a lot of people have no choice about whether or not to be there. And to like, because I'm just thinking about all the people who were serving food, all the people who were serving drinks, all the people who had to clean up after that, take out the trash, like,
right.
And then you're in DC, which is a chocolate city, or at least it was. It's not that much anymore because, gentrification and shit's expensive. But like all of these people like around you that you're just like, you just don't care. Like, and I'm sure some of those jobs don't even have great health insurance. It's wild to me.
I mean, it is a Republican administration. So, I mean, it's kind of like par for the fucking course.
I know.
Not really valuing people,
Just saying. It's so blatant. And then they turn around and act like they're the party of life and liberty and pursuit of happiness.
We care so much about every fetus, but we're perfectly willing to just kill people that have already had
ourselves
and
themselves
so they can feel tough.
I mean, really, like that is the part that it's such an obvious self-own. And I don't understand how they don't see it. Like, you've already lost Herman Cain, which is a giant loss, because I don't know if y'all notice, you're like wanting for black business owners, like in the Republican Party. Like, that is not your strong suit. So when you have one,
that's like
you really need to take care of them quite well. And you didn't.
That was like their biggest seller for fucking not being racist. Like, hey,
yes.
Herman Cain's here. Yeah, dude. Like, and like I think we got two other people. Yeah,
2 to
them
3,
too.
2 to 3.
Both of them. I don't know their names. They both I mix them up a lot.
Oh no, my new favorite. We got a quiver. We have a quiver of black business owners. Yes. So that is wild to be in this place of having a president that is sick at Walter Reed. We don't know, and we also we've been gaslit to the point of we don't even know if this shit is real.
I know, right?
We don't know if any of this is real, if it's a ploy for some later shit. We really have no idea.
Everybody's saying like, oh, he's trying to get out of debates. Other people are saying he's trying to get out of the second term, like, completely. And like that's like his way of being like, I didn't lose, I just got sick,
and
because he knows he's going to lose, and it is, and that's the crazy point is like reality at this point is just guesswork.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're at. It's just like straight up guesswork.
I mean, we can guess the worst, though. We can guess the worst.
Happening.
Like, that's my whole thing is, like, be prepared for the worst. That's why I don't understand Democrats who are playing this game of, like as soon as RBG died, we're not, Republicans should definitely do what they said they were gonna do.
Are you making fun of Canadians right now?
I don't know. It's just that, to me, that's the voice I hear in my head when it's like trying to get that okey doke. Oh, you know what that voice is? That's that OC voice, like Orange County voice from Dirty John season 1. Because that's what they.
Yeah. It sounds to me like Fargo or some shit.
I don't know. It's just like that voice is what I hear every time I'm thinking of like. Because it's like that plainness, right? Just like everything that you need to see is right here on the table. There's nothing else happening underneath or around it. No, it's just right here on the table. It's what I said. This is what it is. And it's like literally almost nothing in our lives work like that.
No.
Like everything around us exists to take advantage of us and take our money. And I don't understand how you can possibly read this situation in any way that isn't like that. So like, I don't understand why y'all thought that the Republicans weren't going to do what they always do, which is fight for power. What I'm going to need y'all to do is to have already had a plan and like have had ad buys ready and like pamphlets ready and all this stuff. But I don't work for the DNC. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like we can just assume the worst consistently.
I feel like with the evidence is stacked up at this point to where that's a reasonable assumption every time.
I mean, every single time.
I mean, the evidence is there. It's not like we're just like, oh, where'd you even get that from? Oh, all the history that we can point to.
And you know how powerful that is,
That's where
Brent?
we get that.
You know how powerful that is? If we had have just trusted that from like the 70s with Trump, look how different everything would be now. Like if we had have just trusted that if someone gets sued for housing discrimination because they're literally just not renting housing to Black people, that there's probably something in that person that doesn't make them suitable for public leadership. I don't know.
Really?
And then if we skip to the 80s and they do like a whole ass op-ed about something that ain't got shit to do with them, basically calling for the death of a bunch of Black teenagers, I don't know. Maybe this person isn't fit for public office. Oh, okay. Hop to the 2000s. Oh, we don't even have to hop to the 2000s. Let's hop to the fucking 90s where he basically was just making a fool of himself consistently. Then hop to the 2000s with The Apprentice where it was so clear all of his narcissism and personality problems were on display consistently. And the fact that this was all a scam from the get-go was on display right there in front of us. What would have happened if we had have learned from that and just said, hey, maybe this person isn't fit for public leadership? My God, where would we be?
Exactly, right? I know. But it's like people got off on the this is crazy, because that's like what that reality TV bullshit brought us. Was like, oh, we love it when it gets crazy. Oh, now it's going to be in politics? What?
Like, I don't want drama in my politics.
I don't either.
I
hate those fucking shows.
We don't need drama in our politics like that.
Oh man,
it's not suitable for anybody. But here we are.
Yeah. Now our fucking whole country's political system is a reality show.
Yes, but we have hope, Brent.
We do have hope.
We have hope because the real. I was going to give you a chance to say it before I said it.
I missed
the real
part.
boys in.
Oh, the real boys in blue are here to come and save us. That's right. That's right.
That's
nope, not the police. Nope, not those boys in blue. That's why we said the real boys in blue. The Postal Service. That's right, everybody.
Yes. Why we probably shouldn't say boys in blue because, like, literally, mail carriers have been of all genders, like, for a very long time.
Police too? I mean,
yes, that's why most people say police officer.
But they back the okay. I guess they don't say back the boys in blue. That was going down a road that didn't.
See, I love it when you solve your own problems. Like, it's so amazing when people see for their own selves how what they're saying is a problem. It's a beautiful thing. But anyway, so the U.S. Postal Service is amazing because they just basically said, fuck it. and we're like, we're just gonna do our goddamn job.
Yeah, regardless, which is great.
Like, we're just gonna show up. So they are, hold on, let me pull up the tweet. So Dan Zach tweeted out a Washington Post article. It was September 29th. Read the article. Basically, the USPS workers are resisting orders so they can deliver mail on time. Mechanics in New York aren't removing mail sorters. Ohio clerks rescue prescriptions from stalled bins and deliver mail off hours.
Wow. That
in
is
Pennsylvania, awesome. Carriers are making excuses to buy time to finish their routes.
Damn.
That, my friends, is a great example of what public leadership and public service looks like.
Right?
That's what that is. That's saying, fuck this shit. I don't know what's going on, but my loyalty is to the people I serve and not to whoever this fucking thing is. Like, whoever's in charge now. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
This up here telling me I gotta be matters. Awful.
I'm gonna be here after y'all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do what we need to do.
Right.
So I
that
think
is awesome.
Right?
Good for them. Good for fucking them. Like, right? They're awesome.
It is.
Hell yeah.
It's so interesting. And I was recently listening to What a Creep, and they rebroadcasted their episode on Lance Armstrong. And I say that to say, because at one period of time, Lance Armstrong was actually on the U.S. Postal Service cycling team, which didn't even know was a thing. And
there's
I just
a
feel
cycling
like
team for the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes, I feel like what we need to do, like our next episode needs to be just like, not our next episode, but at some point, I just want to like do an episode on like every fucking thing the U.S. Postal Service does, because that is wild. Oh, yeah. I had no idea they had a fucking cycling team. That is, right. I just really want, I want the firsthand documents where somebody put together a PowerPoint trying to say why it would be a great thing for the U.S. Postal Service to have a cycling team. Right. That would be really interesting. But what was really cool is they got all their fucking money back from Lance Armstrong. Really? Yes, they did. They were just basically like, oh, yeah, you defrauded the U.S. government. Give us our shit. Give us our shit. So, and I thought that was really cool.
They just keep knocking it out of the park.
I'm saying, we're looking for American heroes, and they're right in front of our faces.
Right. And
like, they're literally everywhere around us. How about that group of Florida teachers that sued the state because they were like, what you're not going to do is have us all come back without a better plan than this. Right. Like, that's what you're not going to do. So it's like, listen, police officers, I know it's a testy time. I know. Right. And there's a lot of, questioning of your future. And I want to tell you this right now. You can change all of this for the better. Look, we're still going to defund you. That has to happen. That's been coming. It has to come. Look, we got to change you around. But look, it's going to be for you. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things we need to start. We need to pivot. We need to pivot to why defunding the police is better for the police, because everyone assumes that there's not going to be any jobs left, and it's like, no, this actually is probably going to create a whole bunch of jobs. And guess what else is going to create? Grants for you to take your ass back to school so you can learn how to treat people like human beings, and then maybe get a job in our newfangled world. Because see, that's the thing. Listen, I don't hate you. I understand what it means to have to make decisions about your future, based on your job. And I get that. Yeah. And I get that, somebody's got to take these goddamn jobs. But choosing to believe in the bullshit psychology of it's us versus them, and I'm here to make sure the rabble don't get out of control, that is a choice.
Yeah, because it's like you just said, it's choosing to believe the us versus them when there's no evidence that them is a them yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they still might be in us, dude.
But I mean, the them isn't even
and it's
real, like, in my opinion. Like, you are us, bruh. There is no.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not protected, and that's the thing they need to understand. They truly, I feel like regular police officers do this thing where they want to align themselves with power, and I get it. But like, we're not. This isn't about you. This is about the institution of policing and what's needed to happen a really long time, because we let this get the fuck out of control, and it's not helping anybody. It's hurting people in particular, like one group in particular, a whole lot, like a couple groups actually, a few. God damn, no one can escape. That is the point. And you're not even escaping. Look at the alcoholism rates. Look at the suicide rates. Look at the domestic violence rates.
Yeah, that's
Look
a big
at
one.
the financial issues that cops face. Like, you are not to mention the injuries, the fucking, there's shit you do on your job that we don't want you to have to do.
Right, for your own protection as well, man. We're not just talking about the protection of everybody else. It's the protection for you. Not knocking for a warrant, and just bursting into doors in a country where we have 0 gun laws, basically, and everybody fucking owns guns. Imagine doing that in Texas. Holy shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's dangerous for you, man. Mm-hmm. God damn.
So, like, listen, individual police that have done fucked up shit, you got to go to jail. I'm sorry, you got to go to prison.
Yeah.
Look, the good thing is we're trying to change it so that it won't be so awful, so it'll actually rehabilitate you, and then when you come out, you won't be treated like a fucking pariah and maybe be able to rebuild your life. Exactly. Look. Yeah. But you have to be held accountable when you take people's lives. You have to be held accountable when you violate people's civil rights. That is the whole point of being a public servant. And that's what the USPS figured out. Like, listen, right. I'm accountable. If somebody dies because I didn't deliver this shit, yeah, I know it's not technically my fault, but if I could do something about it and the fucking penalty is just like, you're bad, who cares?
Right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
do it. Save people. Help people. That's why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. Or do you not remember that? Like, well, some of you aren't, and that's why you got to go, period. But and you probably can't be rehabilitated. You're going to have to just go to welding school or something. Right. But, there's welding school.
That's a dangerous job, too, man.
I mean,
you'd still be like
they always need people in Alaska. If you want a thrill, they always need people in Alaska to do shit. Always. A good back in Alaska can make you $70,000 a year. Easy peasy. I mean, seriously, there's so many. No, we're not going that far. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of really good, like, man's jobs or whatever in Alaska and the Dakotas.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully it'll get all the people to, all these police officers to be a little bit less John McClane and a little bit more Andy Griffith. Because it's sort of a spectrum between
I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch Andy Griffith to be able to know for sure one is better or worse.
I'm just saying. He was always the one trying to calm things down when Barney was like, we got to go fuck this dude up. Oh. He's like, now we've known this man for a long time.
Can you imagine fucking, who is that? What's that man's name? Don Rickles? Well, no, that's not Don Rickles.
Don Rickles is great.
But, damn, what's that man's name? Three's Company 2. Like, what is his name? Okay, whatever.
Sorry.
But I can't even imagine him saying fuck.
Don Knotts.
Thank you. I knew it wasn't Don.
I'm sorry.
God damn,
took me a
so
second.
many Dons. Yeah. Can you imagine him saying fuck? I can't even picture him saying fuck. Like, it's just like, that is well before his time. I mean, I'm sure he said it constantly, and I'm sure if we really search, we can probably find it. But I don't know that I want to live in that world where Don Knotts curses like we do. I don't know. That's too much realness.
Oh, but that's all we need is more of Andy Griffith and less of John McClane. That was my point.
And more healthcare workers, more mental health care workers, more rehabilitation, more housing. Oh my God, so much more housing, so many more jobs. Just like, it is an entire system, which is why this is about the institution, the criminal justice system, the whole thing. It's not just about you. It never was. And you could like really just decide, hey, you know what? I deserve better too. Yeah. Like, I don't want to have to be making these bullshit decisions and endangering people's lives like this in pursuit of sometimes crimes that we don't even know the true impact on us. Like, I don't want you to die for a fucking stolen car. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, right, I don't want, or like a counterfeit $20 bill. Like, it's not, and truthfully, people don't want to lose their family members even if they are unruly and need to go at that moment. Like, it is a large, like, gap between come handle this situation and get rid of the situation.
Right, exactly.
Like, we got to get control of that.
Here's the thing, like, we can always do things better. And again, just because we've always done it that way is never a good reason for why or a good argument for why we should keep doing it that way. That's something that I feel like we just get lost in. We're just like, we want to revert back to what we're comfortable in, which is the way we've always done things, even if it's not the best way to do it.
Yes.
And that's just, I don't know,
we are humans. We can do hard things. We've done them before. We will do them again. And we're really, really fucking good at them when we do them together.
Exactly.
So good. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So,
that's our headline.
Go Boys in Blue
Headline.
Postal Service. Hashtag
you have got to stop with these boys in blue.
Go people in blue. I don't fucking...
Go USPS.
Yes, there we go. All right.
Deliver that mail. Deliver it. We have a treat for you folks. We're gonna actually do an unapologetics segment.
Yeah, I know.
It's
right?
been like one of those archived ones where we're pulled it out. We're ready to go.
That's right.
Unapologetics.
Unapologetics.
Unapologetics. I miss that song.
I know, right? Yeah, that's a good one.
Song.
It used to be our actual intro to the whole show.
Yes.
For a spell.
And it's just such a great memory of like that whole process of you like making all the music, and because you just finished making your album at the time, Farm Animal.
That's right.
And that's with a PH, Farm Animal,
Pharmacist.
And then like it's just, I don't know, it's great.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia.
It was, it's nostalgia.
It's a good feeling, got to be careful with it, but it feels good sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
absolutely.
Speaking of nostalgia, Brent, what century is this?
I have no idea anymore.
Because how are the Catholics ruining our lives yet again?
I know. It's always the fucking Catholics.
What is going on?
They're the Star Wars equivalency of the fucking Empire. I don't know what's happening.
First of all, I'm finding out there's this like increase in people transitioning or converting to, that's the word you're supposed to use for religion.
Converting.
I'm like, what happens when converting to Catholicism, because apparently they needed more rules in their lives.
Yeah, that's
they
important.
were so confused about their relationship with God that they wanted to create more levels in between it so they could make sure they make sense of it all. And I just
not liking all this free time, it's just, I don't know what to do, and I'm
free
bored
brain space. I'm not liking all of this uninterrupted joy. I need more shame and guilt in my life. I just am not feeling it enough. And Amy Coney Barrett. So
ACB.
Don't you dare. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get one. No. I'm going to say her
I
whole
hate that shit.
boring ass name I'm sorry, that was rude.
No, it's a boring
I'm going to
name.
say her entire name, especially because it kind of bothers me, because I'm like, why do you have a double last name? Because don't you hate feminists?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Don't you hate women? So why are you retaining any of your identity? And I don't know, but that's just one of those things where it's like,
that's where the progressive stops. That's it.
Sometimes I don't get people. I don't get them. Anyway, so let's talk about Amy Coney Barrett. So we lost our BG, excuse me, y'all. Not red, green, blue. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg. See why it's probably better to just say people's actual names?
I can see that now.
Because I got a lot of those going on up here.
Yeah.
And so, obviously it hit us all in this way that we knew it would when it was going to happen. I think that's why all those articles about, oh no, her cancer has come back has were always such a giant deal.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm just pissed the fuck off that my entire goddamn, like, all of American jurisprudence was hanging on the balance of one responsible woman. And that is, once again...
Right.
What?
How is that the case? Like, how could that...
Like,
how did we get here?
Like, the way we keep putting Susan Collins and, like Murkowski in the same situation of, like... save our government from itself. Like, never mind all these men and all of their bullshit choices, but you, one woman, will save us all with your, bodies and minds, because
Supergirl this shit. Come on.
We just are so attracted to responsibility and being the savior of things. Apparently people just think women just like projects. Like, that's our whole lives.
They're like, okay, get me the puffy paint and and I'm gonna solve this shit.
Yeah, like, I'm really into decoupage. I should probably run for Senate. Why didn't I think of that? It's wild. So anyway, Amy Coney Barrett, let's talk about this person, this woman. 3 years in federal court. That's the extent of her judicial experience. And I'm not gonna get too hung up on the bullshit that people generally get hung up on, like the fact that she went to Notre Dame and not like an Ivy League. I think that's actually a really great thing. I just wish it wasn't Notre Dame.
She went to fucking not an Ivy League school. That is just not.
I know.
You're not qualified.
Like, how can you even read the? Do you even read, bro?
Can you even logic, bro?
Like, you have no idea how to read a law. Okay, you went to Notre Dame, but but what we should really talk about is the fact that this person is the antithesis of everything Ruth Bader Ginsburg
was against,
like, dedicated her entire life to.
Right.
Okay? Like, and then on top of that, not only is she Catholic, okay, which
fine,
on its
whatever.
face,
Like,
whatever, I accept I live in a world where people are Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
like, it is what it is,
yeah.
right? But at the very least, can you be like one of those Jesuits?
Right.
That just, like, make wine and want everyone to be okay? Because this is really troubling. Really troubling.
Yeah. Because she's in basically a sect of the Catholics that is completely and outright rejected by the Catholic Church,
which is saying something.
Which is fucking difficult to do, by the way. Like, keep in mind they move around rapists. So, if they're like outright, no, we as a church disavow this. Because
it's like you actually do cry. Because it's like one of the worst. That's what I'm like. Are we in the fucking Spanish Inquisition? Like, is this the fucking Reformation? What is happening? Like, why? I don't understand how Catholics keep being the crux of so many problems across the globe.
Yeah, worldwide.
The globe. And yet we haven't seen it within ourselves to say, hey, maybe something about this ain't clean. Like, something in the water ain't clean, and we need to figure this out. So Amy Coney Barrett is also a member, or allegedly a participant in an organization called the People of Praise. I'm going to get this information from a Guardian article. It is called Religious Group Scrubs All Reference to Amy Coney Barrett from its website. So, People of Praise is a tiny, it calls itself charismatic Catholic organization, which red flags.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is a charismatic Catholic thing? That is so weird.
Red flag, because you already have, like, Virgin Mary's on the walls and, like, fucking Jesus is on the walls that bleed blood. So the actual, like, regular Catholic Church is already a whole lot. It's a lot. It's extra.
Extra level of creepy. They're like, you know what? The Catholic Church just isn't creepy enough. I feel like we need to introduce speaking in fucking tongues.
You know what we need?
In this creepy
We need
place.
to add charisma.
Jesus.
It's missing charisma. So, first of all, this organization is in, I guess, hot water now. You know how those reporters say they're in hot water because they've basically been scrubbing all of Amy Coney Barrett's information off of like all the pictures, everything with her name in it. They're like scrubbing it.
It's not like a digital shredding party, like
basically. And they said the reason they scrubbed it is because actual members of the group were like, "Hey, reporters and people are on this page all the time now, so now people like know that I'm a part of this crazy sect. So can we like scrub some of this shit?" Which honestly, I can see that.
Yeah,
because
can you tone down the crazy while I'm running for?
Yes,
you know?
And also people are like, I love being in this group, but I don't like my neighbors or my boss knowing that I'm in this group. So, is there any way?
Flag.
Remember that picnic? Yeah. Remember the like save all the babies? Yeah, kill all the whores picnic we had 2 years ago, and you took a picture of me when I was in my Mary Magdalene, costume, and you had, I had blood coming because you guys had stoned me to death.
Wearing bloody fetuses around my neck as a necklace. Yeah,
Yes.
remember that?
Remember that? Yeah. I'm just gonna need you to let's just take that picture down for a while. Let's just
It's gonna send a mixed message.
correct. Like, we don't wanna do that. So let's talk a little bit about People of Praise. So the group was founded in 1971. The group's 22 branches organize and meet outside the purview of the Roman Catholic Church and include people from several Christian denominations. Though the majority of its roughly 1,800 adult members remain Catholic. Listen, 1,800 people is not a lot of people, which means to tell me whatever they got going on is really not like, it's like some NXIVM level shit.
It's a cult. Like, come on. Like, that's how that works. When you're like, hey, we're not accepted by the fucking religion because we're that crazy.
Because I'm just doing the numbers in my head, since 1971, and you only have 1,800 active adult members, that means these are some hard pills to swallow, okay?
Jesus, NXIVM does have more than that. I feel like, what the fuck?
Okay, so former female members of the group told AP earlier this week that wives were expected to obey their husband's wishes in all matters, including providing sex on demand.
Well, this one I kind of agree with. I'm going to say,
Y'all.
I'm just kidding.
He is definitely joking. Be some
So we found some common ground here. That's what... Good. Start with that, and then we'll work.
It's like, can you just like? It's like for shit like this, I wish they would just boil it down and be like, listen, we don't think women are people, so just submit in all ways.
Yeah,
like we don't even need individual commandments on what women have to do. Let's just keep this shit simple. You are not a person. You don't have any rights. Your father and then your husband control everything that you do. So don't even bother thinking about anything except for how to make things pretty and taste good.
All the guys like coming in and like, oh, welcome. Yeah. Okay. Here's the duct tape for your mouth. And
like, cause you won't be needing that anymore.
And I don't want to hear any none of that.
Yeah, like we will literally let you know when we're ready for you.
We'll take it off.
One of the women also said she was forbidden from getting birth control because married women were supposed to bear as many babies as God would provide, which makes sense since Amy Coney Barrett has 7 kids. What? Some of them are adopted though, and yeah, some of them are black kids. So yeah,
well, that's terrifying for them.
Listen, a loving home is a great thing. Rebecca Carroll, who is a writer for the New York Times, she does a podcast, Come Through with Rebecca Carroll. She's on WNYC. She is a biracial black woman who was raised by white parents, and she just actually wrote a book, and she has a whole conversation on what that can be like growing up. Like as a black kid in an all white space, and especially having white parents, and it's tricky. It is tricky. I mean, it's not trick. It's no, like, it's not to say like, oh, white parents stop adopting black kids. It's not. It's not. Don't even go there. That's a leap. You're leaping. You're leaping. You're leaping.
Yeah, that's.
You're leaping way off the fucking page. Stay here with me. What it is it's like, it is very hard to be the kind of parent that black kids need when they already are in that system, and also on top of it in a world where whiteness is all about taking away blackness. We're gonna strip you of it and make you whole and clean.
And now you just be our culture, and you don't have to worry about.
You don't ever have to worry about any of that stuff. But then that cognitive dissonance comes into play because you do. Yeah, because like white people are racist. Yeah. And all of us are, right? But like seriously, like racist in a way where it's like it's not seen, it's not, you don't see it, but it's like later you're like, oh shit. That's what that meant. Damn.
That's what that exchange was about.
Oh damn. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, So yeah, it can be a lot of things. It can be a lot of things. Yeah. So yeah, it's just tough. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. Let me see.
Sorry.
Yeah, lots of kids. You have lots of kids.
Oh yeah.
So current People of Praise members, including Amy Barrett's father, told AP that suggesting male members dominate their wives is a misunderstanding of the group's teachings, and that women are free to make their own decisions. Our members are always free to follow their conscience, formed by reason and the teaching of their churches.
Oh, fuck you. No, it's not. Give me based on reason. You can't just use that word.
Listen, decision making in the People of Praise is collegial, engaging the entire community in consultation on significant matters that affect us. I don't know how you can do that when I'm pretty sure you have a rule that women cannot be teachers.
Yeah.
Like, of Christ. Like, I'm pretty sure that exists. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how collegial and engaging of the entire community it can be. And especially, too, because these are usually communities in which children definitely don't have a fucking voice. And, like, children's needs are absolutely secondary to adults' needs, and they just need to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So engaging the entire community. Additionally, women take on a variety of crucial leadership roles within People of Praise, including serving as heads of several of our schools and directing ministries within our community. So basically, women are working.
Yeah, they seem like they're working.
They're doing unpaid work.
They're administrators. Okay, so that's like
they're doing
leadership.
All of our ministries and our teaching related to the children, because we don't want to have shit to do with that, because there's no power in that. So
again, this falls into the stereotype, like the of what the patriarchy. Really, it's like no, they have leadership roles as long as it fits into the patriarchy.
Exactly. Yeah. And adult members of the group take a covenant that includes a passage where members promise to follow the teachings and instructions of the group's pastors, teachers, and evangelists.
Well, that's creepy.
It goes on. It's unclear whether Barrett took the covenant. But it's like, she's been in it so long, it's almost impossible that she hasn't.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
It's like one of those things where it's like, this woman is clearly a extremely dogmatic Catholic person. Yeah. And that is fine. But she should not be administering law. Period. No. It's that simple. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, it just...
This is where it gets so difficult, honestly, when dealing with law and stuff like that, because you're expecting people to be thinking about making laws that apply to everybody. Mm-hmm. And so when you have
that
people,
would be prudent.
Exactly.
That's why we're all here, girl.
Exactly. Right?
Like, each and every one of us.
Right. And that's where it gets so difficult, is because when you have religious beliefs, your religious beliefs tend to influence the policy that you put into place. And the policy that you put into place is usually to further your religion or to make your religion the law, which your religion can't be the law because everybody doesn't believe in your fucking religion.
It's really that simple.
And it's why when it's so hard trying to separate the two, and this is why when we're talking about, we're going to talk about politics, but we're not going to talk about religion. Well, it's kind of impossible if you just leave out religion completely because it influences a lot of their decisions.
And it also just sort of spits on the legacy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and really like so many of the more like revered members of the court, like Thurgood Marshall. And it's just like, what bothers me so much is they truly believed that when those folks were, you know, writing their, you know, concurring or dissenting opinions or whatever they were doing and the work that they were doing prior to getting on the bench, whatever, all that stuff. It means that they truly believe that those people were just trying to garner as much power for themselves and liberals when everything that they were doing was trying to expand rights for as many people as possible in the country. And that is just such a different, you know, that's like, yeah. I don't understand how we could possibly want any jurist that isn't interested in that. Like, right. Of course, like with every law that we have, with everything, you know, with every issue in this country, there's a way that we can take the more compassionate, make it as best as we can for as many people as possible, and to constrict and restrict and regress and make, you know, the government even more encased in our lives and the daily decisions that we make and constricting our liberties. And it's like, how could you possibly be a like, you know, interested in liberty person? And I'm so like freedom this, freedom that. And then every chance that you have to expand the rights of a human person, you know, in favor of that human person and their liberty, you don't. Yeah. Like you go with, no, the government has the power to, you know, make sure that any immigrant that comes to our country is like filthy wealthy. Like, no, our government should definitely not be, you know, not have Roe v. Wade, and women should definitely not be allowed to have abortions. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of that is informed by like, no, I want people to have the right to be my religion. You know, if you would just live by my religion, you'd have all the rights that you want, you know, within my religion. You know, that's where it gets fucky. You know what I mean? Like,
legit think that we are in psychological crisis. That is what's so baffling about it. They really think that we are in psychological crisis because we are not Catholic and we don't know the love of God. And we're just like, we're fine on our fucking little island and we want you to be fine on your fucking island, but can you stop fucking with us?
Yeah.
Like, can you leave us the fuck alone and we'll leave you the fuck alone? But we're also going to call shit. We're going to call you out now when you're victimizing people because that's our creed. Okay. Exactly. That's what we do. But what we're not going to do is tell you what you like. If you want to submit to your husband in this, like,
no, there's
way
no
that
law
we've
telling you
already
can't do that.
fought for you to not do,
or not
go ahead, girl.
Right.
Do it. Whatever gets you off.
You can choose to oppress yourself. Yeah, exactly. You can choose to oppress yourself all you fucking want. We're not going to make any laws that say you can't do that.
No.
That's the difference between what we're doing and what you're doing.
But we do want to protect those kids. We got to figure out a better way to protect these kids. Because every time I watch anything cult related or anything related to these, like, this newfangled wildness that we're in, I just cannot forget all these goddamn children that are being caught up in this and like, I was just reading one of these Duggar kids, you know, one of the 28 Duggar kids, you know, she's like on birth control and everybody's like, oh my God, she's on birth control? Like, that's like, it's like, duh. Like, come on, you can't control your children. That's not, no. It's like you can for a time and you're going to brainwash some of them. Yes, of course. And especially if you have 28, you're going to have some pretty good numbers because, like, you just had a lot of chances. Like, you figured it out, you know? But it's like, at the end of the day, your children are not here for you. No. They have their own lives to live. And to instill them with all this fucking self-hate and shame and guilt and hate.
Right, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's just like, in the work that these kids, like, when you look at these kids, especially kids like, that come from like really conservative Mormon families and stuff, and like got out and everything they have to do to just like live, to like actually like survive, because they've been completely like, they weren't just like ignorant of the world, they were purposely ill equipped for the world to keep them trapped. And I do not understand how we've gotten to the year 2020 and kids like don't have a fucking say in that.
Right. That is crazy to me, you know. And it's just like where they always say, oh, no, they're ruining. we're going to dedicate our child to our religion or whatever when they take them and they're like a baby. They're like, okay, that's a Christian baby now. No, the fuck it's not a Christian baby. Okay, you're a Christian and you would like your child to be a Christian, but that baby is not a Christian until they decide they are. And honestly, with all the misinformation that you give them, they can't make an honest decision.
But once again, Brent, we're always going to be confused because we just can't figure out how the party of life seems to be so fucking hateful of it. It's spiteful of it. I don't get it. Why do you think we're here? It must be to suffer and die. What else is there?
You have to suffer, okay? Life isn't worth anything if you don't suffer. 90%. And that way that 10% feels real good.
Yeah.
Jesus
but you know what we
Christ.
can do when we're suffering, Brent? We
What's
can
that?
watch reality TV.
Woo-hoo.
And so did you ever watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette?
Yes.
You did watch it for real?
Oh, no, not like where I was actually engaged in watching it. I was there when other people were watching it because of a watch party, and I was just like, okay. I'm coming to hang out.
You knew people
and
who
drink.
had a bachelorette watch party. You know
yeah.
what? I'm not going to throw shade because once in a past life, I did throw a Big Brother watch party. I sure did.
Yeah.
And it was a season in which Janelle and Kesar, it was Janelle and Kesar's original season back in the day. So that was an excellent time to be alive. Big Brother was everything then. That's when Big Brother still had regular people on it who were not complete assholes and fucking sociopaths. So yeah, it's really hard to watch these days.
We hadn't figured out that the audience really loved sociopaths yet.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's seriously because it's amazing to me how much as soon as anybody was even low-key bullying, because this is how much I was watching Big Brother After Dark. I was on the CBS All Access. I was deep in Big Brother. Big Brother became life for me for a second. I went down that rabbit hole with Survivor too for a second. I don't know why. I just love CBS reality TV shows are the only ones I actually like. Really? All the rest of them, Bravo, all that shit, you can keep it. You can have it. I mean, House Hunters is still bae, but seriously, I love me some Big Brother. But I was thinking, okay, we need to pitch the Bachelor, Bachelorette people a show, okay?
What's that?
It's going to be Bachelor, the Prophet's Wife. Okay. And stay with me. Stay with me on this. Okay.
I'm here.
We get a prophet.
Right.
Okay. And he's looking for a wife. All right.
Right.
Okay. Now, the only problem is, according to Apostle Wise Preach, okay.
What? His name's Apostle Wise Preach?
Apostle Wise Preach.
That's not your name. You don't get to call yourself that. Come on.
He is Apostle Wise Preach. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
According to him, though, the requirements on being a prophet's wife are they're high. Okay. They're high. They're steep, as they say. They're steep. Okay. Can we talk about a few of them?
Sure. So this is you got this from his prophet Tinder?
Well, actually, he just went straight to Instagram.
Oh.
And was like, this is what I'm looking for as a prophet, and this is what I need in my spouse. I think he wanted to make it a bigger group of people. So he was like, why limit myself to Tinder? And people actively looking. Because, see, the woman I'm looking for, she's not looking, okay? She's just sitting around waiting for her God-centered man to just drop in her life. She's waiting for her prophet to just show up. Right? Because that's how prophets always come in. They have to it's always something random. You have a flat tire and this man is about to kidnap you. And all of a sudden this person walks up and it's like, ma'am, do you need help? And they save you from the person about to kidnap you. That's how you know that this man is a prophet and meant to be your husband forever. Your house.
But it's your house prophet, which we all have.
Yes.
It's a common thing.
Okay, do you want to talk about some of these requirements?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, in order to be a prophet's wife, okay, the first thing she has to be is Christ-centered. The woman must be Christ-centered.
Got it.
Which I guess means that she just has a giant hole in her heart. And it's just
filled with Christ.
That's it. Like,
She's
it's just maybe like tiny figurines of Christ, or just like a picture of Christ. I don't know, but she's Christ centered. 2, she has to be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so
sure.
I don't know what that means, because I don't know that gorgeous is one of those words that you need to qualify.
Right? How do they do this? Like, am I absolutely gorgeous? Hold on.
Am I just regular gorgeous?
The guy's like, I'm like halfway gorgeous. I'm pretty. I could be seen as cute. I could be seen as hot. But am I absolutely gorgeous? God, this is tough.
It's hard to know, but she has to be that. Number 3, can sing. So it doesn't matter if she likes it. It doesn't matter if she wants to. She just has to be able to sing. Okay?
Because of all the worship and everything, I mean, he wants a really, entertaining time when she's in the shower. And, he just wants to hang out.
Oh, that's a real positive spin on that.
Yeah,
okay.
The acoustics in there are great.
Yeah, because she's there for his entertainment. Absolutely. Number 4, she must have light skin with a stunning smile. And that's when we knew our prophet was a black guy. So he's
an Irish girl. Red hair. Black. Okay. Now it makes sense. Because we never say that.
Nobody else uses light skin except for us. Everybody else is like, oh, they're fair.
Yeah.
They're pale.
I'm really going for Greek statues.
They're olive. Yeah, like they're olive skinned. But we're like, I want a light skin. I want light skin.
Yeah, that's
it. I just need light skin.
Guys are all sitting around talking. They're never like, yeah, but the light skin, like all the white guys sitting around, the light skin ones are better,
They just, that's just like a thing. Colorism is a thing, man. It's huge. It's amongst all people of color too. It's like, it is wild.
God, that's so wild. That's so wild.
It is
wild.
Like that. It is. It's one of those. This is why, we as humans are fascinating, and the way that we've allowed all of these systems to take root into our communities and pit ourselves against each other, it is a whole thing onto itself. And that's why this is a revolution. Yeah. It has to come from the bottom and the top, because we got a lot of conversations we got to have.
You've been beaten over the head with this concept that, hey, we're better because we're light skinned. And then you all,
it's the proximity to whiteness. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really weird how you can be pro-black and then also value proximity to whiteness.
Let's add some gradation here.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, black is beautiful, but I really like it when it's diluted with something too.
Right, yeah. Jesus.
Actually, I prefer that. Can we do that? No, I'm just kidding. Light-skinned black people are black.
Sorry.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, colorism is fucking awful. Anyway, she has to be between ages 22 to 27.
Oh, okay.
Which is incredibly specific. And nowhere in here does Apostle Wise Preach tell us how old he is.
Right, yeah.
So I can't tell you how creepy that is, but I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's probably creepy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's probably going to be an age difference. That's creepy.
Well, the 30 mark is the cutoff for all men, period, apparently. That's what I hear. Anyway, that's what I hear from assholes.
Which is really a shame, because I gotta say, 30s are nice. The 30s are nice.
That's that's when women are awesome.
Well, okay, thanks. I didn't realize you were rating our decades, but
yes. Again, gradation. Now,
gotta create these hierarchies in my mind.
It's too stupid at 19.
I don't know how to live without them. So, number 6. She also has to have absolutely no kids. He literally wrote out absolutely no kids, which doesn't seem very Christ-centered.
What is she going to have half a kid? What do you mean? What is the fucking absolute there for? You either have kids or you don't.
You know what? You are really correct.
What are you
I guess that's him. That's his way of saying this is not up for debate. So if you have children, don't even bother, because when I say absolutely no kids, I mean absolutely no kids. Like, I don't care that your kid is gone during the summer. I don't care that you don't have your kid every other weekend. Like, I don't want you to have a kid. That's the whole point. Like, you cannot have had a life before me.
Right. Even if you have a kid that you don't, that's just has, the husband had custody of, or the partner.
Yeah, no, none of that. None of those complications. He can't allow it.
It seems like it's less about the kids and more about the fact of the process of giving birth has now happened.
Yes, the woman is definitely sullied after she has opened her legs to another man and then had his child. Yes, absolutely.
That is fucking...
Yeah, absolutely. Like, a prophet deserves the best, don't you know?
Like, I feel like I would deserve, like, whatever they were drinking splashed in my face if I said that on a first date. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be like, yeah, I get it. That's because of the thing I just said.
I don't condone drink throwing. However,
I would have totally deserved it. Given that was the case.
This is okay. Okay, next. She has to love Jesus more than anything else, which I feel like is still in line with
covered that.
Yeah, with Christ-centered, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the same thing. Okay, but I guess it's just really important.
Do this.
She needs to be able to cook and is tidy. So, I mean, okay.
Well, you're out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am so kidding. Cheap jab. I couldn't help myself there.
I am so hurt by that. I am just gutted. No, I am not. I am a terrible. I'm decent. Okay.
Hey, I'm not better. I was just making a jab. Okay. I'm any better at that shit. I'm super kidding.
I keep it non-cluttery because my OCD won't allow it. My anxiety will not allow it.
That is true.
That is the best that I can do. But you can certainly take over the dishwasher any day. I will. Yeah, you do that. Okay. She also needs to be an intercessor.
What?
I don't know.
Intercessor. Okay. I think, and I'm not totally positive, but I think that intercessor has something to do with intercessory prayer.
What does that mean?
What was
meeting? But you just go with it?
Okay. No, it's a person who intervenes on behalf of another, especially by prayer.
So basically someone that just prays a lot?
So, no, and I think that somebody that will call you out on your bullshit. You know what I mean? But and also will intervene for other people. So if somebody's saying something about him, she'll be like, well, let's all pray. And then be like, he's actually an amazing, and then make your case for you during prayer.
So
I don't know.
She's his PR person,
but a person who intervenes on behalf of another. So, but I think it's somebody that calls you on your shit. You know what I mean?
I don't think a prophet wants that. That doesn't seem like that fits in anything here. Yeah. I think he just wants somebody that prays a lot, honestly.
Yeah. I know.
If I had to really think about it, I just think he's someone who prays a lot and also is his personal PR person.
Let's see. Hold on real quick. Let me look at, intercession or intercessory prayer is the act of praying to a deity or to a saint in heaven on behalf of oneself or others.
Yeah, it's just praying a lot.
Okay. So yeah, my bad.
Okay. So is between 5 feet and 5'4", which is really...
What? That's really short.
A tiny...
That's really short.
I think actually most women fall between that.
Was he 5'6"?
I don't know. That is such a good question. But it's
I need a good foot above her. And it's
see, but I have a thought on this. Okay. So if he only wants between 5 foot and 5'4", I'm gonna take a leap that based on all these other things he's asking for, he also expects her to be wearing 4-inch heels regularly. So what I would do is just take 5'4", add 4 inches, which gets us to 5'8". So I would say our prophet is 5'9" tops.
Tops, yeah, because
5'9" to 5'10" tops.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense.
That's brilliant because he wants her to be wearing high heels, but still not be taller than him.
Correct. That's
Got
the
it.
only
Got it.
because only short dudes have height requirements. Like that is. It is the truth of the matter.
We really do.
Brent's all 5'9" of himself. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, she never has been married before. I guess that goes with having absolutely no kids too. But he had to be specific. Like you literally have not had any connection to any man in any sort of serious way ever before in your life.
But how did you put the kids thing first?
I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know. I feel like this is a stream of consciousness for him. I don't know that he really thought all of this
brain
through.
Vomit.
Because So next, she needs to be submitted and a great listener.
Oh. Okay. So just shut up, basically, is what that means. Just shut up.
I mean, shut up, but then also don't you dare trail off and not listen to me when I'm talking to you.
Man. No.
Yeah. Oh, that was like, oh, God, it's so embarrassing.
That was the best part of the whole thing.
So
Anyway,
okay. And finally, she needs to be hospitable and love Jesus more than me.
what the fuck is it?
And
So let's to recap. She needs to be Christ-centered. Mm-hmm. She needs to. What was the second one? To think about Christ all the time. Or
gorgeous.
No. The second Christ thing that she has.
Oh,
to be,
loves Jesus more than anything
loves
else.
Jesus more than anything,
And then
now
loves
Jesus. I don't feel like you know how to make lists, man.
Also,
this is not. You don't cover the same shit 3 fucking times in a list.
Also, somebody needs to tell this guy that he needs to create smart goals, and this goal is not measurable. How are you going to measure your wife loving Jesus more than you? How do you measure that? What test do you? Because this is all testing. Like, because there's not going to be an actual situation where your wife can prove to you that she loves Jesus more than you.
I know.
So these are all going to be little like Three's Company games that you're setting up to test her. Now, so what could you possibly do?
Okay, now Jesus has no arms, no legs. Do you still love him? Like,
This is just a mental abstract exercise.
And now Jesus doesn't have any arms or legs. Are you still attracted and love him? Okay. Okay.
So the best part of this is he wraps all of this up by saying, because we weren't sure he was a douchebag before.
No, he's still
if that is you, submit your application for a review, and someone will review it at earliest convenience.
As if it's not him. That's so good.
And also, can I say, it is real big sickening treating yourself like a corporation in which you're trying to find a wife. Like, get with the program. Corporations suck. What is wrong with you? No one's down with this language anymore.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's not hot.
The assistant to the regional prophet looks this over, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Exactly. And please don't call for any sort of updates. We will let you know.
Our people will call your people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh my goodness.
Not the other way.
So I don't think you or I would make a good prophet spouse. Like we just aren't cut for that.
That was crazy. I was so happy when you found that, honestly, because I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, sometimes I forget that
let me just
there's a whole world of people out there acting like they're actual prophets.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's almost just like, let me just type this into the computer and it's going to print me out a human. You know what I mean? Like, like, what are you doing?
That's not how that works, bro. So yeah, that's been Unapologetics. Oldie but a goodie. Ready for some type of way?
I am ready for some type of way.
Some type of way. Some type of way. Some type of way. Yeah. It's a fucking motherfucker, man. You fucking feel some type of way.
All right, some type of way. I'll go ahead and do mine first to get it done. It won't be like super long and heavy. We've already had you here for quite some time.
Yeah. And we
You
don't
know
wanna-
how we don't like to stop talking.
Yes.
Mostly it's my fault. I'm sorry. No.
It's really not.
I know we're both talky motherfuckers. Anyway, so I think as you can see, Brett and I took some time off when everything in the news was getting really insane, and I had to just sort of stop for a while so I can sort of find my center of why I cared about this stuff in the first place, and why this stuff is important to me, why civil rights and just everything we need to fight for all of our communities, because literally, trust me, I see it, I feel it for everyone. I want everyone to have the freedom that they need to do the shit that they want to do in their lives. And I think right now it's really hard to see that through, because particularly I'll ground this in my own experience. As a fat Black woman, shit is hard right now. Like I just feel like my body is constantly being caught up in national, stories, and it feels so interesting. Like, to go on the internet and see your entire community and then every individual member of your community's actions being seen as okay to talk about in this really awful negative way, and just completely discount an entire community like we just don't fucking exist. It's just really weird. And then to see on the other side the COVID conversation of just seeing in real time how much people don't give a fuck about Black people, and specifically fat Black people. We're just not on earth living lives that we cherish and love and don't want to lose. It is the feats you have to do in your mind to not care that much seems just wild to me. I don't know how you can get to that point where you're just oh yeah, everything anyone experiences is their own fault and they deserve it, and so I can just move on with my life no big whoop here, nothing to see here. Life is happening exactly the way it's supposed to, which is everyone suffers and feels terribly about who they are and how they arrived in this world, even though they had no choice in it, and we're just going to live that way. Yeah. And that's just that's goals.
As long as it's for other people that don't look like me. That seems to be the distinction there. But,
and I can't possibly imagine a scenario in which I'm at the losing end ever of that way of thinking, and that complete disregard for people's lives. Oh yeah, no, that'll never touch me in any sort of shitty way. Even though, I don't know, you looked at your insurance premiums lately? You looked at your deductible? You looked at what happens if you need to take out a second mortgage if you get cancer next year?
You don't have a good enough job to not die.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people need to just dig a little bit deeper and they'll see just how vulnerable they are. But somehow it just seems to not be on the table. But, anyway, I was feeling, obviously awful because of, the shit I'm going through in my brain, but also the shit that so many people must be going through. And there are a lot of vulnerable people right now. And we knew that when Donald Trump was running. We knew that this is just going to exacerbate the problems we already have. And of course, that's exactly what happens. And for the most vulnerable among us, that doesn't mean oh, drats, we got to pay higher taxes. Or, oh, drats, I have to do something extra to register to vote. It means you die.
Yeah.
Or it means you lose your right to vote for ever.
Right.
You're just disenfranchised, done. But anyway, I was thinking about all these things, and it brought me back to when I was a child, and when there were times when my body size and my skin color wasn't so, in my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I thought about the experiences of the people that my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mom, my aunts, my uncles, and all of these beautiful, amazing Black people who still pushed for joy, still pushed for their lives, still showed up and lived it anyway, knowing that someone's always going to have a problem with it. Someone's always going to tell you you're doing it wrong. You're never going to be enough for certain people, no matter what you do and how awesome you are, or how much you fit to whatever model they're telling us to fit to, even though we do it. We jump through the hoop and it's still just like, well, it's still not enough because, children out of wedlock or whatever. And it's like, I think about those moments, right? Those moments where my grandmother was a cigar roller in Ybor City, Florida, Tampa, Florida, way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's known for, very Cuban area. All of our, neighbors were Cuban, and she was a cigar roller. It was like a whole thing. And I remember, those moments of like her like baking, and just like those moments with her, and that moment of like how much joy she gave me, how much joy she gave in the world. And, for her, it was enough. It was enough to take care of her kids, be good at what she was good at, which she could roll a motherfucking cigar. Okay. Like, she was really fucking good at that. But like so many other things, and all the lessons that she taught us, and how she was, she battled demons. So many family members battled demons because that's what trauma does. It sort of just gives you all these demons that you have to battle, and they just keep piling up over generation, over generation, over generation. But nevertheless, each one is trying to figure out a way to transcend that trauma and find a way to experience joy and be happy and just like get themselves the little piece of life that is worth it all, right? And it's been so helpful sort of grounding myself in that more so, because here's what we realize is that, I started to remember this is where the power comes from. Remembering that I am not here to solve a problem that I didn't create, right? I didn't even consent to be here, let alone consent to be here to completely ruin whatever semblance of joy and mental health I have for myself, and to those around me, because some awful fucking people are doing awful fucking things. We're going to fight. We're going to do everything that we can, because that's what we believe in, because that's
important.
That's what's important.
It's important to fight, but it's also, you don't want to let it overtake your entire existence to the point where you don't have any joy, because you've poured all of your stock into the pain.
Yes.
And now you're just living the pain, because because it's important.
And the pain is not what can the pain is not going to propel you forward. And that's the biggest part I'm starting to learn, is like, it is so important to talk about the traumas, because I really do think that part of the biggest reason we're in this mess is because we have kept so many things secret for so long. And we all need to be talking about how white supremacy hurts us all, how patriarchy is hurting us all. Hey, men's rights activists. Hey, I want shit to be better for you too. Like,
right,
I want your life to be better too. I don't want men to have to go fight wars I don't believe in for me. I don't want that.
Bet y'all weren't expecting her to say that.
Yeah, like I don't want that. I don't want you to have to like experience, like, I don't want you to feel like you can't get help for emotional issues because men aren't supposed to experience pain. Like, or just like have a stiff upper lip. I don't want you to have to do that. I also don't want you to have to support your whole family by yourself anymore. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, you need help. We all need help. And it's okay.
Impossible at this point.
Yeah, like we're at a point where that's just not feasible anymore, honey. It's not. And if you're putting that kind of shit on your back, you're going to be cyclically depressed. Period. Because we live in a world now where individual humans, like, we've always lived in this world, but now more so than ever, this whole like pull up your bootstraps, I can do this shit on my own, it's showing its limitations.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of it is coming out in mental health issues.
Yeah.
And
that tends to be where it shows up. Yeah.
A lot of it is like we're taking all of this stress, all of this anxiety, all of these feelings of powerlessness and throwing it right back on people who feel the same way. Yes, for a reason that's a lot of times not true, a complete misreading of the entire situation and a complete misunderstanding of how great life can be if we just let go of some of these bullshit beliefs that we've allowed to propel us for so far. Like, you know, we can't have a culture of dependency. Like, where'd that even come from? Like, do you ever stop to ask yourself that question? Like, who came up with that turn of phrase? And what does it even mean?
People with a whole lot.
Yeah.
They say, like, I shouldn't have to pay taxes.
But yeah, so why are we insisting on believing in things that just aren't true? I refuse to go through my life believing all humans are just the worst things in the world and we can't figure this shit out. I believe we can. I know we can.
We can.
And
absolutely.
I think a lot of that is going to happen through empowering ourselves with the joy, right? So yes, please show up to the protest. That work is so important. Do that. But also on on Sunday, like after you've done the protest on Saturday, maybe go to a nature preserve and walk for an hour, right? Just like put on your tunes that you love, maybe like your favorite like podcast, like your favorite music, you know, especially if it's for like if you're walking for Black Lives Matter, like that next day, put on your goddamn Lemonade Beyonce album and go walk through walk, okay? Don't run, just walk. Enjoy the life that we get to have here.
Go check out a sunset.
Yeah,
Go
seriously.
hang out with
Keep
friends.
yourself healthy because this is a long haul. And while I am so happy that the dam is finally broken and people are finally coming to the realization that this shit is broken and we can't continue on like this. Because listen, we were already broken, but a country that has allowed a Donald Trump to become president and everything that's come with that, oh no, we won't, right? But at the same time, remember that your ancestors fought too for you to have a better life. They sacrificed for you to be better, for a lot of us anyway. And
to be happy.
Yeah, and you should take that birthright because it's yours. Like, remember that we are changing the world. We want to create the world to be better for our own enjoyment. Yeah. Like, yes, shit is awful and we need to make it better, period. Okay? And we're going to do that work. But
that's always going to be the case.
Would like to reframe it a little bit as like, yeah, we're mad as hell and we're going to fucking do something about it. But also we're mad as hell because we have been given a fucking gift in this goddamn planet and the way we can live on it and the way we can enjoy it. And that's even more exponential when you talk about the fact that we live in a place where we can like rely on like regular internet and like electricity and like our food supply is pretty decent. Like, listen, enjoy those moments. We are changing the world for our enjoyment, so that when people arrive on this planet, no matter what shape, what parentage, whatever, they still have the opportunity to live the life the way they want to their own enjoyment, right? Yeah. That's what we're doing this for. So don't make yourself sick. We are not trying, like, systemic racism is fucking awful. It's awesome. No, it's fucking awful, right? But we're not going to fix it with a bunch of white people becoming really neurotic and terrified because they're afraid they're going to be racist and continue with systemic racism. It's called systemic for a reason. It's not about you. Right. It's not about you. Okay? It's about a system in place. And yet you obviously are engaging in it sometimes, and but we all are. That's the problem. Yeah, we all are complicit. Yeah. Every single one of us are complicit. I am a black person and I am complicit in anti-blackness. I am complicit in racism. I'm here. I can't not be. I live in fucking America.
We're fallible humans too.
Like it's just impossible.
Always, we're fallible.
And a lot of bullshit is done in our names as citizens, as American citizens. That's just plain immoral, period.
Yeah. Straight up.
But the goal is to reshape our government in a way that is for the people and by the people. Absolutely. For real this time.
Yeah. For
real this time. We've never had it before. We thought we did, right? Because listen, the founding fathers and that whole mythos, they did a really good job. They did a really good job of making it seem like they did something revolutionary. And in a way they did, but it is in one way.
Yeah.
They did.
They thought it through really well.
They knew what they wanted to escape.
Right.
But didn't think for a second about what they were escaping were just reiterating further and worse systems of oppression. And
the fact that people would be able to reinterpret like their protections against those type of things. But
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't know that anybody can get ahead of a bad faith argument. Really? Can you?
Yeah. And you can always make a bad faith argument.
Yeah. Like,
you can always make an argument. Even if it's terrible. You know? I
mean, I want to blame them for that, but it's not all their fault, because who could imagine that, 200 years later, people would be using the Second Amendment to be like, I'm allowed to have my own gun theme park if I want it. Like,
we all just shoot.
That's what this amendment means. If
fun.
I want to give tickets for people to just show up and shoot each other. But we've really made guns like a tourist thing. That's what we did. Yeah. We made guns a tourist thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cult. It's like comic books.
Like that is
these people, or Star Wars, or something that I would geek out about. Like it's really weird.
That is a choice
they've done.
That is a choice. We can change that. We can change a lot of things. Now listen, it's going to take work. It's going to take money. It's going to take a lot of fucking leadership, which right now we are wanting for.
Yeah, it's going to take.
Pretty sure I just used that incorrectly, but whatever. Like, we need it. We are desperate for leadership. And that's the thing, too. Like, you got to give yourself a break. Because part of the reason we're taking so much of this on ourselves is because we've been abandoned by a leadership that is supposed to be taking it on for us. Right. Because that's what we elected them to do. Right?
Yeah.
And yes, it's our job to change this, but it's also the leadership's jobs. And all we have to do is hold them more accountable and keep pushing for it. But you go out there and you live your life and you don't feel guilty for a fucking second. No. Because remember, you did not consent to be here for this shit. You didn't put this shit in place. And you're just going to do your goddamn best to raise anti-racist kids who treat women like humans, okay? And don't have all these goddamn rules in their heads about what's gender and what's this and what's sex and what's that. No, you raise good, interesting kids who are out here living their life and adding to this shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about all these arguments on these internets. Don't worry about it.
And every opportunity for fun to be had, have it.
Have it.
To the fullest.
Have it.
Okay?
Have it.
Because, we only get this life.
Have
we only
it.
get one life that we know we have.
That's it.
And yeah.
That's it.
So
that's all. This is all we get.
Embrace
and
that shit.
We don't fix shit by just getting depressed and saying fuck it.
No. That never helps. No. It never helps.
It helps literally nobody. It helps literally. It doesn't help yourself. It doesn't help the issue. It does nothing.
No.
Now, for our vulnerable people who can't do anything, that's our job. We speak for them. Okay?
Right.
We speak for them because we can. Okay? But we also listen to them and we listen. Okay?
That's the
thing.
And
we take direction. All right? This is a coalition we're building.
Yeah.
It takes work. It's hard. We're gonna offend each other. We're gonna argue. We're gonna, snap back at each other. But at the end of the day, family means, right? Like, and not even family, like just like decent human relationships.
Right.
Means that you're not out here trying to be an asshole to other people just because you can.
Right.
Because of course you can.
Yeah.
But
you always can.
Stop. Like, stop putting all that goddamn energy in the world. Isn't it exhausting?
Yes.
Are you exhausted?
Yeah. You gotta be. And by the end, you gotta be.
There's so many fucking amazing, cool, awesome, just overwhelming fucking things about being a human. And you're choosing to spend all that time on the fucking internet arguing about Wisconsin laws on gun ownership under the age of 18 when really who the fuck cares? You know what happened was fucked up, period.
Okay, I feel personally attacked.
Yes, I am talking about you. Stop arguing about fucking Wisconsin carry laws. Y'all don't fucking know. You don't fucking know, okay?
Hey, I listened to the episode of Opening Arguments, okay? I've got a pretty good assessment of the... No,
that's my some type of way. Like, take care of yourselves, y'all. And, like, really take care of yourselves. Not just like, oh, I'm just gonna, like, not go on, Twitter for a couple of days. No. Don't go on Twitter for, like, a couple of days. But then also, like, go and do awesome shit at the same time.
Do the fun things that make you happy.
Exactly. Go on Twitter, but then just, like, only do it for, like, 20 minutes maybe. And then go do other shit. Because, listen, the movement just needs you here and ready. They don't need you, like, constantly hostile. It's not necessary. The work doesn't get done that way. It really doesn't.
And it's detrimental to your mental health.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you just end up, resenting and regretting and feeling like, it just ends up becoming a conundrum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It becomes a conundrum because you think that you have to solve everything and you don't. No one's asked you to. No one's asked you to solve everything. No one's asked you to have an answer for everything. All we've asked you to do is be a decent person. And when we tell you to show up and what you can do to show up, do it. Because that's the thing. People are already doing this work. Look, if you want to take it on yourself and do extra, form a new organization, do this, that, you do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. But truly, there are already wonderful people out here doing this work, and they just need our support.
And keep in mind, those things are awesome things. If you can do all those things, if you can go out and start a group, you can do anything that you can do to enact change, that is awesome, and we totally encourage it. But not at the expense of your mental health.
Yes.
That is the point here, is you have to love yourself, you have to care for yourself, and you have to, if you have to take a break at times from what you feel is important in order to love yourself instead of everybody else in an entire community, then do that. You have to take time for yourself, and you have to have joy. You have to do what you want to do to have fun in the in-between times. But if it's not affecting any of that stuff, get out there and do it.
And if you think that's self-indulgent, remember for a second how much your fucking parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents went through to give you a decent shot.
That's right.
And then to assume that you're squandering it all by being angry on the internet all the time. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. Yeah. Their sacrifice was worth so much more than that.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't do that. And of course, obviously, if this is not your situation, we're not talking to you. Right. You don't need to take it personally, but it's for, those of us that are sensitive and that are constantly trying to fix the world, but cannot because we're just one person. This is for you. Right. You can take the world off your shoulders a little bit. Okay. Just take it off. It's all right. It's all right. Brent, what's your some type of way?
So, my some type of way, like we already kind of alluded to a little bit. I go online. I'm kind of trying to go online less because of sort of the, like I said, what we were just talking about. My mental health just can't handle it at times. Where it's once I start to feel like I'm more upset and more feeling down than I am enjoying the fact that I'm trying to do something good is when I feel like I have to kind of stop. And I have a friend and really great guy. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good dude. I knew him back in my Calvary Chapel days. He was the brother of my best friend at the time, but me and him he's big into conspiracies. That was usually back in the day, that was how we connected the most, I think. I was new to Facebook, and the only reason I had Facebook was to talk to the people that I actually knew, in person. And a lot of us did, I think, at first. And
it was real weird that way at first. It's amazing how quaint Facebook was at one point, and how now it's just oh my God, get me the fuck out of here. I feel like I've been let into a whole world that I didn't know existed, and I don't like it.
I've just took that leap in the last 3 years when we started the show because I felt like I had to, and that was sort of the
And we appreciate it because we've met so many great friends of the pod.
Right, we really have because of doing the podcast. We met some really great people. But
yeah, it's ubiquitous. I know. Yeah. Like Facebook has indelibly like placed itself in our lives that we just can't. We just can't.
It's a social contract.
It's a fucking utility at this point.
Yeah, it's
almost like it's a utility.
Weird. It's fucking creepy. But all right. No, and so, I've been going back and forth with them on this Kyle Rittenhouse situation, and it's amazing to me because on their page I'm looking at it and seeing like how they're responding to it and everything, and it's just like when you start with a bias, it makes me think of this as far as like just a good way to explain this. I feel like if you wake up in the morning and maybe you had a bad dream, whatever it was, you start out, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, okay? You just straight up, you're having a bad day as you wake up. And then maybe you spill your coffee when you're having breakfast or whatever, and then you're leaving to go to work, right? And you get stopped at 4 different red lights, right? And you're just like, oh my fucking, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this. Mm-hmm. Every fucking red light. And you get to work and you tell the guy, man, I'm just having a rough day. I got all red lights on the way here, And he's like, really? You got all red lights? It's like, and actually it was 4 red lights, right? But there were 5 green lights that you went through on the way. But the only thing you're thinking about are the red lights because you've already decided before you even left that you were going to have a bad drive, right? That shit's going bad today and it's just not going to be great. And so you've already decided in your mind that you're going to grab on to the negative things, and it's funny because like, and that's a good example. I'm sure that a lot of us can think of times where we've done stuff like that. And when, with confirmation bias, that is like exactly what it is. You're just counting the things that you already were wanting to be the case, and everything else that's in opposition to that you ignore. And that seems to be exactly the case when I see people talking about this. And of course, I might be projecting on them, but I really don't see how, because this sort of this Kyle Rittenhouse thing, just like it really puts a divider line up, right? As far as like how to view the situation.
Listen, I didn't tell you about this. This is like in my story, bag. But a school district a teacher actually in Dallas, I think, school district, got in trouble this week because he or they, I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure it was a dude, but they assigned a writing assignment basically explaining why Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero.
Wow. And he required them to see it through that light. Wow. Wow.
He called him an American hero.
That's, seen by some as an American hero. And that's what I'm talking about, is this is a bias.
But AOC is the fucking devil.
Yeah, the person that doesn't want any violence or guns to be like, just traipsing around.
Cory Booker is the fucking the Antichrist wanting fucking affordable housing. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, no. But yeah, we totally gotta have 17-year-olds with automatic rifles going to crowds of people. And it's just such a divider line. Like when you look at these situations and some bit of news comes out that's similar to this, it just shows you everybody's biases so quickly. You see it immediately, for me anyway, because it's like they look for any reason to make him, like Nikki just said, the hero. Of the narrative, right? And it was like, to me, he, and I try to look at this as objectively as possible. I try to step out of what I want to be true and try to figure out what actually is true, right? And so looking at it as objectively as possible, what caused the issue here? What caused this to happen? What was the catalyst? And the catalyst is that this underdeveloped mind of this 17-year-old kid thought it was a good idea to get an AR-15, an assault rifle that's commonly used in mass shootings, by the way, and travel over state lines to go to a place where tensions are high, knowing that, to then defend himself. Okay, I'm just going to let that sink in. Okay, he took himself out of the safe environment he was in to put himself in an unsafe environment to defend himself.
And somehow we're supposed to ignore all the other stuff happening around it, like the fact that right-wing news media is basically like making the protest into like, oh my God, we gotta fight for our freedom, and America is going into socialism, so this is an actual civil war. So yeah, take all the guns that we love for y'all to go buy easily and have tons of, and to have like no way of tracking that fact, to go to random cities that you, in the whole different states that you are not residents of, to somehow protect an entire business that you don't own, but somehow you're protecting it by not being in front of it.
Right. And then kill a bunch of people and claim you were just defending yourself.
And then what kills me is our side, but like people who are like, gonna vote for Biden are like on these feeds like arguing about, well, no, because according to Wisconsin law, it says this, and it's clearly intent was, and I'm just like, listen, fuck a law. If this goes tits up and this kid doesn't get get held responsible for what he did, you know what the next step is? The next step is we're going to get these legislators to change the fucking law, because that's the whole point. Like,
yeah, because law isn't the end all be all.
Exactly.
Like,
the law is the bare minimum.
According to the law, it might be permissible, but that doesn't make it right.
Correct.
Because we're talking about what's moral. And I almost wonder if like that's the problem when I'm discussing this with people, is they're not talking about it in the sense of what's moral. They're saying like what's allowed, based on the law, and what, this situation, like this kid actually, did some really immoral things, but hey, it was according to the law, so hey, it's okay, and it's like this wiggle room that there are these loopholes they're looking for to be immoral within the realm of the law.
Correct. And whomst amongst us.
Whomst amongst us. That was great.
Amongst us.
I'm so going to say that forever now.
Didn't grow up with the age-old adage that saved us plenty of fucking time. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
That's right. And that
saved my ass plenty of times.
And one of the, and maybe if a lot of people don't know who this band is, but there's a band, and one of the examples I used was, there's this band Propaganda, and they do, they're very progressive, and they're just...
Isn't it Propaganda?
I always called it Propaganda, but apparently I watched an interview, and he pronounced it, of one of the members, and it was Propaganda, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I was today years old when I learned that, and I don't know if I like it.
But no, it's like going to a Propaganda concert.
Oh yeah, it is Propaganda. That makes total sense, actually. No, yeah,
right? Yeah,
it definitely is supposed to be pronounced that way.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Great band. Check them out. But yeah, it's like going to a Propaganda concert with a Blue Lives Matter shirt and a AR-15 strapped around your back, and then after you've gotten into an altercation and ended up killing 3 of them or 2 of them and injuring a third, you get to say, hey, this is self-defense. I always look at the video. You can see me being attacked after I put myself in a position that made everybody uncomfortable and angry and came to this place on purpose. But yeah, I was defending myself after I did all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... this is so frustrating.
The point is, I don't even like getting into the particulars because it doesn't matter. Like, what he did, what he did was wrong. It was just not responsible at all. It's not a way that we should want fellow citizens to behave unless, like, literally someone's life is in danger. Like, that's the kind of behavior I expect from other citizens when someone is, like, in the street about to beat your ass to death and they come out with a gun and they're like, leave them the fuck alone. That's the kind of citizenry that you kind of want, right? But not like, hey, I live in a whole nother state. This has absolutely nothing to do with me, but I'm just going to take my big old long gun and go down there and see what I can ruffle up. Like, no, that's not prudent. That's not the way society can ever work. It's not going to work. And even if legally this one case doesn't work out the way that we want it to, we can appeal. And also we can hold the people accountable who like made these bullshit laws and are okay with these bullshit laws, and we can also get people in to change those. And I know it seems like an uphill battle and like, oh my God, we can't do that because we can't trust our politicians, but we have to. There's no other way. Like, there's no other way to do this outside of anarchy. And if we want that, we can have that conversation. Let's have that conversation. We probably should. But it's like right now we kind of are left to the levers that we have.
Right.
And
so I'm sitting here having this debate with this guy, you know, and I couldn't help but think to myself, just, man, I'm so glad that I'm not doing this shit anymore. Like, I'm so glad I'm not in his seat, because I would have been at the time, you know, back when I was a conspiracy theorist, conservative, fundamentalist Christian. I totally would have been making the exact same arguments that he was. You know, and it's just amazing to be able to view, you know, myself and see that I've been on both sides of this coin, you know, and which, you know, now it's like all I can see, and it doesn't mean that I know exactly his motives or anything like that or why he's saying what he's saying, but it really feels like it's all about, you know, I'm on my team and they're on their team. And so I just have to make up arguments that support my team, no matter how wrong we clearly are on this team. You know,
yeah, how like
based on this situation,
is not a good standard.
Yeah, and you can't ever deviate from you supporting your team. You can't ever criticize people that are on your own team. And that was something that was just like sort of baked into my mind back then, that I have to support this. I can't look at it from any sort of objective standpoint. I have to just find an argument to defend this. And yeah, and it tends, and it all that conspiracy stuff and everything, it just deepens those roots of doing that, you know, because it gives you what you feel is a foundation for it, even though all those roots are dug into fucking lies. But yeah, that was my some type of way.
I love it. Reminds me of earlier, like those people who only see things on the top of the page and they can't ask anything about around it or under it or whatever. Like okay, this is the law, and I know I get it, but maybe we should elevate this conversation and talk about like what should be.
Right.
I don't know.
Do we?
Because, you know, like we get to change this stuff. Like at one point there was a law that I was not a human person. Right. I was property belonging to another person. Like there were like if I like it was a law. So I guess that made it moral.
Nope.
God damn, we should
not.
be like our public education system is amazing, but it needs to get better.
A lot better. A lot faster.
I don't know if they're going to let us, because I feel like they're going to get rid of public school before they let us make Americans like
we're going to all private.
Less, you know, susceptible to bullshit. But yeah. I don't know. That's gonna be hard. Anyway, yeah, that was great, babe.
Yeah, that was
some type of way.
That was a good show so far.
Yeah,
so that
had
was
fun. That was a lot of fun.
Got to wrap up, but yeah, thanks all for listening. We had a great time. As far as announcements go, keep on keeping on, looking out for Left at the Valley 2.0. Me and Kevin and Sabrina are going to be doing that show, and it's going to be really fun. So keep an eye out for that. We're just waiting on a couple things, but
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. I'm going to be on the Right to Reason podcast pretty soon, so in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes. And patrons, you have some bonus content coming.
Oh, yeah.
We will definitely be doing a standalone We Be Nerding segment. So, because we were supposed to do it in the show, and we're already at like 2 hours. So, yeah, that didn't make it. It's not going to make it. So, Yeah, that's coming. There's some more Mrs. America episodes coming.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna put those up.
And yeah, some extra bonus stuff is coming for you. So look out for that. And thank you so much for your patronage.
Yes,
we totally appreciate it.
All of our patrons.
Yes, for those who are interested in becoming our patron, you can go to patreon.com.
There we go.
Unapologetics. So
Spelled
with
like
the
the show.
X. So like the show. Yes, and support us. Tell us you love the show and get an extra shirt from us because we wouldn't be in capitalism if you didn't.
Right. Yeah. I have been on Twitter more lately, so that's at Brently Allen 1.
Yes.
So you can follow me there. Please do. I want to interact with y'all. You can email the show at unapologetics666@gmail.com. Please please email us. We love hearing from y'all. And Nikki, what do we say?
I'm like, I don't know where that came from, y'all. Yes, let me use my words since we're not like cave people. Yes.
What do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbator shamers?
Fuck off. Aww, what was that?
Totally swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
No. What do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbator shamers? Fuck off.